People, I remember when Peyton Manning got into a really ugly argument with Jeff Saturday. And I worked at the other place at the time. And I remember saying, you got to re-sign Saturday. Somebody's got to push back on Peyton Manning. We had the famous Josh McDaniel, Tom Brady blow up on the sidelines. And I'm like, well, Brady's got an ego. No, Brady's competitive. And so is Josh McDaniels, who I talked to this morning. Like, these guys are fighters. They're competitive. They're intense. They're talented. Like, everybody's freaking out about, like, Bo Nix and Sean Payton. Now, Sean sometimes leads with his chin, and not everybody likes him. And I didn't love him talking about Bo Nix's injury, and Bo Nix fired back. This happened this week.
What was found, though, what was a condition that was, like, predisposed? Because when you look at the play and you're trying to evaluate it, he said, the doctor, operating surgeon, said that though this was going to happen sooner than later.
Nothing predisposed, nothing that was there originally. That might have gotten confused, but I don't think he really should share how many surgeries I've had in the past, to be honest with you. But because I don't, he doesn't really even know that. And nothing really that concerns me, nothing that scares me going forward.
So I heard this week and read this week all over the internet, is Sean Payton blowing up the Broncos? No, that's what Nat Hackett almost did, and the GM, who's pretty sharp, almost did, giving away draft picks and paying a fortune for Russell Wilson. Sean Payton saved Denver. Saved Denver. If Bo Nix is healthy, they're probably in the Super Bowl. So sometimes, one of the things I love about the NFL, it's not sanitized. It's the most popular thing on TV, but it's not a TV show. There's controversy and weird calls, and people get emotional and they cry, and it's not sanitized. Head coach quarterback, to me, is a lot like a marriage. When you stop talking, that's the problem.
Absolutely. This scenario is particularly intriguing because, upon reflection, I believe I comprehend the underlying dynamics more thoroughly based on Sean Payton's recent characterization of the events. Consequently, my current perspective is somewhat nuanced compared to my initial defense and discussion of the back and forth. I now harbor a distinct interpretation. Fundamentally, I suspect there exists a palpable sentiment, perhaps within Payton himself, regarding the specific play call that preceded Bo Nix's injury. There is some debate concerning the precise moment the injury occurred. Some analysts point to an awkward posture when he took a knee. Others reference a prior play where he scrambled toward the sideline and Bills defenders entangled his leg. The prevailing atmosphere was that Denver was already within field goal range, ostensibly poised to secure victory. In that context, any additional contact on the quarterback appeared gratuitous and unnecessarily risky. The manner in which Sean Payton stated, "We went back and looked at the play," subtly implies a degree of retrospective anguish, a questioning of his own judgment. Why did I expose my quarterback to potential harm in that precise instant? Had we simply taken a knee or executed a conservative handoff, perhaps this entire outcome could have been averted. The read I currently get is that Payton is fundamentally attempting to communicate, there was nothing we could have done. This injury was an inevitability, a matter of when, not if, irrespective of game context, be it a fourth-quarter blowout or an overtime tie. This rhetorical stance is a common response to the intense scrutiny from media, fans, and internal stakeholders. When a star player is injured while the team holds a commanding lead, the immediate question is, why was he even in the game? Consider the Philadelphia Eagles' approach in their final regular season game. Nick Sirianni deliberately rested key starters like Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, and A.J. Brown to avoid precisely this scenario. In the contemporary NFL, if you lead by 14 or even 10 points with 3 minutes remaining and your franchise quarterback sustains a significant injury, the second guessing is relentless. Why was he on the field? Why call a quarterback sneak in that situation? The game was already secured. I perceive a distinct flavor of this defensive posture in Payton's current communications. I have previously addressed the boundaries of appropriate disclosure, the unfolding narrative, and the underlying veracity of the medical claims. First, I am unconvinced that a significant contingent genuinely argues Sean Payton is deliberately sabotaging the Broncos' future. Colin Cowherd's allusion to such a plot seems overstated. It is also somewhat ironic to witness Cowherd defend a player's right to challenge his head coach, given his notably different stance regarding A.J. Brown and Nick Sirianni in Philadelphia. That said, the principle of a quarterback constructively challenging his coach is not inherently problematic. A relationship featuring mutual push and pull is not only appropriate but necessary for optimal performance. However, the context and timing of this challenge are critical distinctions. Cowherd cited examples of in-game, sideline disputes born from competitive fire. This situation is categorically different. It is a post-facto reaction, occurring days after the emotional heat of competition has dissipated. I often discuss this dynamic in broader terms. Conflict is inevitable in any meaningful relationship. In the throes of an emotionally charged moment, a heated argument, people often say things they don't fully mean. I hate you. I never want to speak to you again. That is a function of being emotionally hijacked. When, however, several days have passed, everyone has cooled down, the whirlwind of emotions has settled, and one party calmly reiterates that same sentiment. I never want to talk to you again. It carries profoundly different weight. The former is a symptom of the moment. The latter suggests a deeper, more considered grievance. To be perfectly clear, I am not asserting a fundamental rift exists between Bo Nix and Sean Payton. I am merely highlighting that a post-facto, public expression of discontent is fundamentally distinct from a sideline argument about a football play. This falls more on the spectrum of a personal reaction, clearly removed from the immediacy of the game, indicating Bo Nix was genuinely displeased with how the information was handled. Historical precedent supports a quarterback advocating for himself. Drew Brees advised Bo Nix to push back against Sean Payton, to speak up, be your own man. This is sound guidance. Former quarterback Nick Foles has also spoken about this necessity, emphasizing that quarterbacks, Jalen Hurts included, must, especially in critical 2-minute situations or out of timeouts, be able to approach their coach and assert, "This is what I want to run." If a coach insists on a specific play, the quarterback must feel empowered to counter, "That isn't working today," and present his viewpoint. We famously recall Foles marching up to Doug Peterson in the Super Bowl and suggesting the Philly special. That level of assertive collaboration is vital. Again, these are in-the-moment football decisions, whereas the current Nix-Payton dynamic involves off-field, personal friction. Yet, it all speaks to the complex, non-linear nature of a coach-quarterback relationship. These partnerships are rarely a straight, harmonious line toward success. They do not resemble a fairy tale where two parties meet, hold hands, and skip into the sunset. This holds true for romantic relationships, professional partnerships, and especially for football duos, where outcomes are brutally quantifiable via wins, losses, and statistics. The dynamic is uniquely interdependent. The quarterback's performance directly influences the coach's job security and legacy, and vice versa. This creates inherent complexity. There will be oversteps, annoyances, and frustrations. My personal favorite duo, Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, assuredly experience moments of mutual annoyance. It is an inevitability of high-stakes collaboration. You will have moments where you need space, to take a walk, to get a drink of water, to simply be left alone. Some of these moments occur privately, others publicly. The current episode between Nix and Payton feels like one of those more personal, public moments. I suspect its genesis lies in a sense of unease. Panic is too strong a word, within Sean Payton regarding the totality of how the season concluded. He is likely grappling with discomfort over the specific playoff loss to New England, the squandered opportunity for the team, and the injury to his quarterback. The burden extends beyond Bo Nix or the fan base. It encompasses the entire organization, ownership, the front office, the coaching staff, and every player. I believe he feels the weight of recognizing that a couple of critical missteps potentially cost the team a Super Bowl appearance. Even assessing a potential matchup against Seattle, while acknowledging their strength, the perspective shifts. We are also a great team. They have a great defense, so do we. We contained Josh Allen, but couldn't disrupt Sam Darnold or Drake May. This line of thinking reinforces the notion that with a healthy Bo Nix, not only could they have reached the Super Bowl, but they also possessed a legitimate chance to win it. That potential vanished with the injury to Nix and the subsequent loss with backup Jarrett Stidham. This creates a kind of double bounce effect on a trampoline of regret. First, questioning the play call that may have contributed to the injury. Second, scrutinizing the play calling that contributed to the loss against New England. Compounded by the general distress of seeing his quarterback injured, regardless of any perceived contribution, Payton's public framing, "This was always going to happen," functions as a mechanism to soothe collective anxiety. It is a way to calm the fan base, the organization, and perhaps himself by introducing a sense of fatalistic acceptance. It was a preordained structural issue, a bummer, but just part of life. Nothing we could have done. This narrative can be genuinely comforting. I draw a parallel to a personal experience. When my dog passed away in my arms, I asked the vet if quicker action could have changed the outcome. Being told, "No, there was nothing you could have done," provided solace. The alternative, "If you had been 5 minutes sooner, we could have saved him," is a haunting, lifelong burden. Similarly, framing Nix's injury as an inevitable, ticking time bomb due to a pre-existing condition, whether it detonated on a Tuesday or during an AFC championship, offers a psychological refuge. One perspective allows you to sleep at night. The other could torment you indefinitely. These are, I believe, the various flavors of the emotional and strategic aftermath following Denver's playoff exit. Despite pre-playoff skepticism from some quarters about their championship viability, the reality is indisputable. This was a team with legitimate title potential. They secured the #1 seed, earned a first-round bye and home field advantage, and defeated Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. Their defense disrupted Allen, yet couldn't replicate that success against Sam Darnold, or fully contain Drake May, as evidenced by the narrow loss with Stidham. This was a bona fide, missed opportunity to compete for a Lombardi trophy. When a season concludes in such a fashion, especially with the compounding factors of a controversial injury and a razor-thin loss, the emotional contraction is profound. Everything feels magnified and scrutinized. The current public tension between quarterback and coach is, in my assessment, a manifestation of this complex aftermath. It is a symptom of the high-stakes disappointment and the difficult process of reconciling what might have been with the harsh reality of what transpired. Those are my structured contemplations on the unfolding situation. I am genuinely keen to receive your interpretations and analyses. What is your collective assessment of the Denver Broncos, Bo Nix's public challenge of Sean Payton, and the dynamics at play? Why do you believe this is transpiring? Are you comfortable with this level of public discourse between player and coach? However you choose to engage with the topic, please share your perspectives in the comment section below. I make a dedicated commitment to read every single submission. Whether your viewpoint aligns with mine or stands in direct opposition, I welcome the discourse. Let's delve into detailed discussions and spirited debates, but ultimately, let's ensure the exchange remains enjoyable. Please consider subscribing to this channel. We are diligently building a remarkable community here, and I would be absolutely delighted to welcome you as a participant. The goal is to cultivate a digital space where we collectively feel a sense of connection and shared passion, and I believe we are making significant strides toward that objective. Also, please remember to like this video, as such engagement substantively assists with content visibility and algorithmic promotion. Thank you sincerely for your time and attention. I look forward to our next interaction.